Shut up and sit down.
Hi, everybody. It's been a minute. I know I owe you a few of these. So, welcome to another one of Beef's Rewatch, Review, and Rewrite, where we are talking WrestleMania, we're talking history, and we're talking how we're going to make it better. So, uh, I believe we last talked about WrestleMania 9, which was Hogan's last WrestleMania. And as I mentioned, um, WrestleManias 1 through 9 were basically all about Hulk Hogan. Kind of like the Skywalker saga with Star Wars. Episodes 1 through 9 were all about the Skywalkers. Episodes 1 through 9 of WrestleMania were all Hulk Hogan. Now, at the end of my last video, I talked about Hogan doing the right thing and putting Bret Hart over, which he didn't do. He lost the title to Yokozuna very soon after he won the title, and that was that. That was Hogan's swan song until we saw him pop up again at WrestleMania 18. But we're not there yet. So today we are going to kind of do a hodgepodge of the new generation, which is WrestleMania's 10 through 13, as well as the Attitude Era, the beginning of the Attitude Era, WrestleMania's 14, 15, and 16. So we're going to do some talking here. Hope you're all ready. I know I am. It's been a minute. So WrestleMania 10 was neat because it was, the 10th anniversary. It was the 9th anniversary. I get it, but so what's what they always say, the 10th anniversary. And they did like historical moments from previous WrestleManias. They had the Gorilla. Oh, I don't like that. They had Gorilla Monsoon. Sorry, I'm messing with my camera so much. They had Gorilla Monsoon narrate a series of 9 WrestleMania moments from the previous Manias, and that was pretty cool. The action was actually pretty good. WrestleMania 8, I think, is where we first kind of really saw some really good matches. WrestleMania 9 had some good ones as well, and WrestleMania 10 continued that tradition. We had Owen Hart versus Bret Hart to open the show, which was very hot, very over. Owen winning was perfect. Great way to start the night out, and definitely was a little bit of portending, if you will, to the upcoming, what was coming. Some quick notes about WrestleMania 10. Atom Bomb versus Earthquake should have been a lot better, or just scrubbed from the card altogether. I think Atom Bomb should have gone over Earthquake. I don't know why he didn't. I don't know if he was doghoused or what. But Earthquake beating Atom Bomb seemed ridiculous. Men on a Mission not winning the tag team titles. I have a problem with that. Men on a Mission was a very high, very over unit. Sorry, bear with me. I am still recovering from the COVID. Men on a Mission was Mabel and Mo, obviously, and they were super over. They deserved the win. I don't know why they didn't. I mean, they won, but they didn't win the titles. Whatever. Dumb move, I think. I would have had them win there for sure. The ladder match, obviously, is the one that gets all the attention from WrestleMania 10. Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels. With good reason. It was a great match, an innovative match, and really would set the table for ladder matches for years to come. Really didn't get improved upon until we started seeing the tag team ladder matches. The Terry Invitational Tournament, obviously, with the Hardys and Edge of Christian, and then that eventually blossomed into like the triple threat ladder match at WrestleMania 16, which eventually became TLC at WrestleMania 17. So I mean, obviously the Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon was the progenitor of that. If they would have stunk up the joint, it probably would have gone away. It was awesome, ergo it remains. Right guy won. Great story coming in. Not too much to say about that other than just really, really special. Macho Man and Crush seemed out of place. Um, it seemed like Randy knew that his writing was on the wall with WWF, and I don't know why they didn't put Crush over here. Crush was becoming a really big heel, and they just blew it. But Randy won. I definitely would have had Crush win. Absolutely, absolutely. Um, but it is what it is. Luger and Yokozuna. I mean, it's all right. Luger's another hot act they really missed capitalizing on. Um, and rocking a hard place like they wanted to do Brett right, but they also had Luger. It was a tough spot for sure. Having perfect screw Luger, kind of long term storytelling with what had happened the previous year at WrestleMania 9. Also, kind of sort of from out of nowhere. I don't know. And obviously, Brett beating Yoko was great. A decent match. Yoko doesn't get enough credit. He does pretty good. So he put on a pretty good match with Brett. Brett winning and all the faces coming out and Owen kind of like lingering in the interest way was really, really good. I really like that a lot. WrestleMania. Okay, so that's WrestleMania 10. Middle of the road WrestleMania. I'd say a solid 6 to 7 stars out of 10. Not bad at all. Um, WrestleMania 11 was okay. It was main evented by Bam Bam Bigelow versus Lawrence Taylor. So awesome that Bam Bam got to main event WrestleMania. Sucks that he had to lose to Lawrence Taylor to do it. Um, you know, this is like peak WrestleMania um, celebrity involvement. Lawrence Taylor obviously was a big name from the National Football League, and they capitalized on that by bringing in some big names at the time, including Mongo McMichael, who would go on to be a Horseman in WCW. But yeah, I mean, Bam Bam lost to a football player. The title match was Diesel versus Shawn Michaels. Good. Shawn Michaels was really starting to break into his own, and yeah, I mean, just a good match, very enjoyable. I'm trying to think what else happened at WrestleMania 11. Let me refer to my cheat sheet here. I mean, the problem is that it was a very forgettable show, which is not what you want. Um, the Allied Powers were just starting to come together. Lex and Bulldog, they faced the Blue Brothers, which became Ron and Don Harris, which became, you know, Skull and 8 Ball, etc. Razor beat Jeff Jarrett by disqualification, ergo he didn't get the title, which was stupid. Um, Again, Razor was hot. Give him that belt, man. Taker beat Bundy in a decent match. Um, King Kong Bundy was underrated, man. I know I said it again. I said it before, and I'll say it again. But Bundy was good, and a good WrestleMania foil for Taker. This was Yokozuna and Owen Hart as tag team champions, which is one of my favorite tag teams of the '90s. I thought that they really gelled well. And Brett beat Backlund. Eh, eh. I just feel like you could have done better things with Bret Hart. And then yeah. So yeah, that was WrestleMania 11. Man, how do you fix it? Um, I think you have Diesel and Shawn Michaels main event. First of all, I think you have Bam Bam beat LT. Second of all, I think you have Razor win the IC title. Just so much. I would have put the Allied powers against Yoko and Owen here, and not, you know, diversify that a little bit. But it was all right. Nothing to write home about. Just okay. WrestleMania 12 was good. It was a one match show, which was the Iron Man match. Um, yeah, I mean they basically built the entire WrestleMania sporting a Battle Hawk gear here. Cause law, bitches. Um, but yeah, they built the whole show around Hart versus Michaels taking an hour. So it did, and I mean, it was a great way to get Michaels over. I was very bitter about it at the time because Brett lasted the whole 60 minutes. No fall. Should have been the champion. The whole overtime thing kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It is what it is. And again, knowing what I know now, Shawn Michaels beating Bret Hart here, absolutely right move. Absolutely right move. Undertaker Diesel was a surprisingly good match here. Um, Diesel, I think, was the first real shot at beating the Undertaker, and Diesel was riding a wave of momentum. I loved the heel Diesel, the cool, cocky Diesel. I really dug it. Um, this was also the WrestleMania of the Backlot Brawl, which was Piper and Goldust, where uh, they spliced in pieces of the OJ uh, chase because, you know, reasons. Whole time tongue in cheek, like they show the Bronco being followed by cop cars, and I forget who was on commentary, but they're like, "Oh, I think this seems oddly familiar." So I don't know, man. I that was kind of weird. I like the idea of Piper and Goldust though. It was a cool concept. Um, and I think Roddy Piper really did a good job of like making Goldust seem more important than I think he was at the time. Also, Stone Cold's first WrestleMania match against Savio Vega. Um, with that was a big feud, and it's noteworthy. The Ultimate Warrior came back to squash Hunter Hearst Helmsley in a minute 39. So, welcome back, Warrior. That didn't go too far. Um, I don't know, man. Like it was a good event. It was a good event. Um, the Iron Man match is a lot to sit through now. Knowing how Iron Man matches are wrestled now. We got an Iron Man match coming up tonight, actually, MJF and Daniel Bryan, which is going to be outstanding. But yeah, this one was kind of a slog. At least going back and rewatching it. But the rest of the Mania, like I said, was kind of built up around the idea of the Iron Man match. So, I mean, honestly, there's not too much I'd change. I think I'd probably take out the OJ stuff because that was dumb. But I do like the idea of like the backlot brawl starting one place, going somewhere else, and then coming back to the arena. I thought that was a pretty cool concept. I'd take the Warrior out. That's the first thing I'd do. um, because that lasted for a cup of coffee because he was an '80s guy, and this was the new generation. The Warrior had no place there. So and yeah, I mean, like I said, worth going back and watching, if for no other reason than Undertaker Diesel. Man, what a great match that was. Moving right along, WrestleMania 13. This one I like a lot. It gets a lot of hate, but I think that this is probably a top 10, maybe almost a top 5 for me. It's a really good show. Undertaker faced Sid in the main event, which was a decent big guy on big guy. Bret Hart and Austin was probably the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, where it took Stone Cold, who was a burgeoning babyface, and just fully committed to the bit and absolutely got him over. First time I think I can remember seeing a double turn on TV, and both guys just executed it flawlessly. The Rock's debut at WrestleMania 13, and Rikishi's, really. Well, no. Um, Rikishi, I guess, was on WrestleMania 9 as Fatu, so I take it back. But The Rock faced Rikishi as the Sultan. Rock was Rocky Maivia, of course, which led to the Die Rocky Die, which led to The Rock. So, this was a necessary thing. Honky Tonk Man was on commentary for The Rock versus the Sultan because of the Rock being the Intercontinental Champion, and my God, it was like cats in heat on Jupiter, man. It was terrible. Jesus Christ, Honky Tonk, shut the fuck up. Go back to your old age home. I really hope Gunther beats Honky Tonk's reign because that dude just fuck the Honky Tonk, man. Owen and Bulldog faced Mankind and Vader in a decent match and ended in a double count out. Triple H took on Goldust, which was a really good match too, with a really good build up. Here is like where you start seeing like multiple matches being built really effectively, I think. Um, and then, of course, Ahmed Johnson and the Legion of Doom took on the Nation in a Chicago street fight. This is before the Nation became. I think this is like the night before the Nation became what it was. Um, but yeah, it was a mess. It was a mess. And then, like I said, Taker beat Sid. There's not a lot of change here, man. Again, top to bottom, I think it was a fun event. The tag team title match was kind of weird, but it is what it is. I think everybody did what they, or I'm sorry, that was the fatal four way match for the number one contendership. I think everybody did what needed to happen, man, and I think that this WrestleMania, I wouldn't touch too much, man. This is it was a really good one. I really enjoyed it. WrestleMania 14. A lot of people love this one. It's the start of the Austin era, really the clear start of the Attitude era. Um, you had LOD beating other teams to win the number contendership. LOD 2000, excuse me. First time the light heavyweight title made a shot at Mania, where Taka defeated Aguila. Um, Pretty tame by today's light heavyweight standards, but a good dip of the toe in the style. Triple H and Owen Hart went for the European title. That was a fun match. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's where Sergeant Slaughter had China handcuffed to him. So that was again a really good build match, a really fun match. Mark Mero and Sable defeated Goldust and Luna. This one didn't do it for me. I get Sable, I get the attraction, um, and that everybody had a hard on for her in the '90s. But I just like she never did it for me in the ring. This was a weird pairing. This was a weird story where she was really the only baby face in the match. Her husband at the time, Mark Mero, was a heel. Goldust was a heel. Luna was a heel. So the whole thing was just real fucking weird. The Rock defeated Ken Shamrock. Um, Actually, Ken Shamrock beat The Rock. but then because he refused to relinquish the ankle lock, the referee awarded the decision to The Rock by disqualification. Really smart move here. Kept The Rock as champion, but kept Ken Shamrock over. Um, didn't really hurt him because he technically won, even though he lost. Cactus and Chainsaw Charlie took on the New Age Outlaws, pre DX New Age Outlaws for the tag team titles in a dumpster match, which was really good. I really enjoyed it. Very hard hitting. Cactus and Chainsaw won, but the next night on Raw they were either stripped or had to defend against the Outlaws again. I think in a cage match because they used a different dumpster than the dumpster at ringside, which is dumb. But like the next night is when DX would reform with Triple H and X Pac and the Outlaws. So it was a good match, just didn't have a lot of staying power. Taker defeated Kane. This is the start. So this was Kane's first match at WrestleMania, and I think Kane's first match period. And they booked him like a monster, man. It took 3 tombstones to keep him down, and even still, he kicked out right after 3 of the last one. They really booked Kane really strong here, um, and it was a really good match. Um, Undertaker obviously had something bigger starting to happen, and I think that people really started coming around on at this point. Um, this was also the start of 3 consecutive WrestleManias where Kane would get the upper hand on Pete Rose, which I really love. It's stupid. It's so stupid. But man, like, Pete Rose is a guy that you feel bad for, but you also hate. He's a real good, smug jackass. But you also feel bad for him because he couldn't make the Baseball Hall of Fame because of the betting. Ironically, he made the WWE Hall of Fame as part of the Celebrity Wing. He may have been the first induction into the Celebrity Wing, I think. But basically, kind of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, like, oh yeah, Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, all right. The WWE Hall of Fame, ha ha ha. Hold on, gotta check a text here. All right. So, sorry, bad recording etiquette, but the wife was texting me, so I had to text her. And then the main event obviously was Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels. Um, I will give credit to Shawn Michaels here, man. I was never a Shawn Michaels guy, but this dude was basically wrestling with a broken back. He took a lot of real hard fucking back shots, and he showed up to put the right guy over. Um, I was very bitter with Shawn Michaels because of how he handled the Bret Hart thing. I think that how he handled Steve Austin was a little bit making up for that. So, uh, props to him, man. And then Tyson as the special enforcer was just the turn at the end nobody saw coming, and then you got to see Michaels knockout or Tyson knockout Michaels. Just this was a really good one too. I think 13 and 14, and a lot of people don't give 14 the credit, or don't give 13 the credit it needs. I think a lot of people overvalue 14. I'm kind of in the middle on both. I think that 13 was pretty good. I think that 14 was probably not as good as people want to believe it was. Um, and again, 14 though, there's not a lot I'd touch. Um, I think everything pretty much was done the right way. Um, WrestleMania 15. So WrestleMania 15, I have a lot of problems. First of all, on Sunday Night Heat, there was a battle royal to determine the number one contenders to the tag team titles. And hold on, sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. Um, so yeah, WrestleMania 15, they had a battle royal on Sunday Night Heat to determine the number one contenders for the tag team titles. The two guys at the end of the battle royal became partners to face the tag team champions. Huh? Like, in what world do you not have enough tag teams to compete? Like, I know that Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg were off doing single stuff, but I also know that there were a ton of other tag teams on the roster. But you had to go and put together a random pairing of Test and D'Lo Brown? I don't get it. They of course lost to Jarrett and Owen. There was a big kerfuffle with Ivory on the outside, but PMS came out and got in her face and distracted Test, and Ivory got pissed off. It was the whole thing was just bad optics. And then there's the hardcore title and Intercontinental title matches. So there were stories in place for Road Dogg as the hardcore champion versus Hardcore Holly and Al Snow, and Billy Gunn as the Intercontinental champion with Goldust, Ken Shamrock, and Val Venus. At some point in the month leading up to WrestleMania, the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn switched titles. The Road Dogg took the Intercontinental title, and Billy Gunn took the Hardcore title. Because Road Dogg is absolutely synonymous with the IC title, and Billy Gunn, I think of Hardcore whenever I think of him, right? No, no, I don't know who made the executive decision to say, all right, well, we have these two great, good multi-man stories happening. Let's just throw it all up in the air and see where it lands. But it didn't land for me. So Hardcore beating Al Snow and Billy Gunn for the Hardcore title, whatever. Road Dogg beat Goldust, Ken Shamrock, and Val Venus. Val Venus and Ken Shamrock had a double count out together, and man, oof is what I say on that one. Butterbean beat Bart Gunn. Bart Gunn the Brawl for All Championship. Did you know that this was a doghouse match for Bart Gunn because he won Brawl for All? He wasn't supposed to. It was supposed to be Dr. Death. So because he did something in Shoot that he wasn't supposed to do, they punished him by making him face a boxer. Of course Butterbean knocked him out in the first round. Of course, because Butterbean was a boxer. Bart Gunn was a wrestler who did okay with shoot fighting. The Brawl for All was fucking stupid, and it was dumb as hell to punish him for doing something. So, whatever. This was the end of a bad, bad, bad thing. Um, Big Show and Mankind faced off to be special referee. Big Show chokeslammed Mick Foley through two chairs, so technically Mick Foley won, but he couldn't ref because he was hurt. Vince McMahon came out, yelled at Big Show, who was supposed to be the corporate guy, and had him hauled away in handcuffs, thus ending the Big Show's corporate regime. Also, that Vince McMahon could be the special referee. Oh, nope, wait. Shawn Michaels came out and said, I don't think so. Not in this town with this sheriff. Har har har. Overbooked. Overbooked, man. Kane beat Triple H. Again, overbooked. Like, China came out, and China and Kane were in a corporation at the time. Triple H was with DX. China came out and turned on Kane to go back with Triple H, and everyone was like, "Yay! Triple H is back here. China's back in DX." And they even had a big promo in the back where Triple H is like, "The family is whole. DX is whole," only to turn on only to join the corporation later in the night, um, by helping Shane McMahon beat X-Pac for the European title. I just like that. WrestleMania 15, the main event. So the Undertaker beat Boss Man in a Hell in a Cell match, just under 10 minutes. You tell me what you think of that match. No, I'll tell you. It was a 10-minute Hell in a Cell match. And Austin defeated The Rock in an ODQ match at the end of the night. Um, Again, it was very overbooked. Michaels came out, banned the corporation except for Vince. Mick Foley came out as a special referee. WrestleMania 15 was a mess, man. As far as rewriting it, I keep the hardcore title on Road Dogg, the IC title on Billy. I save Triple H's turn to the corporation until maybe tomorrow. I don't know, man. Like there's a lot. I don't have Butterbean versus Bart Gunn at all. If you want to feature the Brawl for, I'll have Bart Gunn face another shoot fighter, not Butterbean, for Christ's sakes. And I find an actual tag team to wrestle for the titles. Fuck, it's not hard. Like, this was supposed to be one of the biggest shows in the Attitude Era history. Oh my god. I just. Why? Why? Ugh. WrestleMania 2000 was kind of a mess too. Like, it was a 3-match card. The last 3 matches saved its ass. But, like, the hardcore battle royal was a farce. Real dumb. Like, 20 people won. Viscera held it for like 9 minutes. Hardcore Holly won the match, even though he didn't win the match. Crash Holly kicked out at 2 at like right when the countdown was happening. Oh my god, there was just so much. The ending was botched. Ugh. TNA versus Head Cheese. Uh, the midget and the cheese costume was. Oh. Thankfully, thankfully, there were 3 really good matches on this card. The triple threat ladder match, which was Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, and the Hardys. Incredible. Again, building on the history of the ladder matches here, I think that they all brought some stuff to the table that was incredible. And the Jeff Hardy Swanton from like the 20-foot ladder onto the floor, where he basically missed Bubba Ray Dudley and just Swanton on the floor, was really cool. And then, Edge and Christian winning was awesome. The Eurocontinental title, which I love that gimmick, with Kurt Angle being both European and Intercontinental Champion, defending against Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho, where Benoit beat Jericho in the first fall for the IC title, and then Jericho beat Benoit in the second title, or the second fall for the European title. Masterful booking. Uh, Great way to keep Kurt Angle clean. Have him lose both those titles, keep him as a really good heel, but, get the titles onto 2 really good faces. And then Triple H versus The Rock versus Mick Foley versus The Big Show for the WWE title, with a McMahon in every corner. Overbooked to hell. It was overbooked to hell, but it was fun. Good to see Mick Foley going out on his terms in a really good match. Um, but again, the McMahon saga just kind of like with a cloud over the whole thing. Things I'd change about WrestleMania 16, I would have The Rock win, first of all. He's the most over guy on the roster because Stone Cold was out. Have The Rock win. Absolutely have The Rock get his moment at WrestleMania. Um, and then do something different with the hardcore title because, man, the hardcore battle royal was just terrible. Just terrible. Just terrible. But hey, we're caught up. I just finished up WrestleMania 16 a few moments ago. So we're caught up. which means that I gotta get to watch some WrestleMania so I can talk about some more WrestleManias. Um, Coming up next is WrestleMania 17, 18, 19, 20, and probably 21. I'll try to get together. Spoiler alert: there's like at least 3 of the top 10 WrestleManias and 2 of my own personal top 5 WrestleManias in the next set. So I'm pretty excited to talk about it. But this group wasn't bad. The early ones I think were better. The latter two, 15 and 16, were just a mess, despite having some of the best talent and the best angles. So, but yeah, thanks for hanging in there. It's a little bit of a long one, but we got through it, and yeah, enjoy Revolution. Although will have already happened by the time you guys see this, and go Battlehawks. Caw is law.